Allie, and today I thought we would discuss Lenore. Now, if you don't know what Lenore is, she basically is a comic book / web series character from the late 90s, early 2000s. She is considered one of the goth icons, especially of the, late goth era. She was created by a guy named Roman Dirge, who was known for his very, kind of Tim Burton-esque, stylistic, goth, dark drawings, similar to the guy I'm wearing today, Toxic Tunes. His art style just very much drew me. I love that type of edgy, creepy, non-conforming type of art that they had back in those days. I feel like now everything's become pretty much stagnant and pretty much stationary. Everybody draws and makes things the same way, the same type of style. So it's not often we get to see things done in a more unique way. His work, just like Jonan Vasquez, just like Tim Burton, as a young kid, very much drew me in. I love the character. I love how cute and unique she is. I love all the comics that come with her because I'm very much into art. And for me, the comics, not so much just the stories, but I love the artwork. I love seeing the pictures and the outlines of everything. But today I thought we would learn a little bit more. I have some, things pulled up so we could get a little backstory more. Lenore, the cute little dead girl, is the proper title of the series of comics. And they were created by Roman Dirge. He was inspired by the poem Lenore by Edgar Allan Poe, if you're familiar with him, which, everybody pretty much is. It appeared in several comic books by Dirge from 98 to 2007. She featured in her own published series by Slave Labor Comics. 26 flash animated shorts were also produced for Sony's Screen Blast website in 2002. So that's where the webisodes come in. So they're kind of really, really old school with flash animation and everything, but you can still look them up on YouTube today. If you look up Lenore, cute little dead girl webisodes, they all come up. I'm not sure the channel's name, but if you just search her name in the search engine, it'll come up. They're very short, very cute. They kind of remind me of the Monster High webisodes, back in the day, but even less animation quality. Because again, 2002. So this is when things were just starting out on the internet. In 2009, a new comic series started, now published by Titan Books, and called Lenore Volume 2. Previous issues were made into color edition trade paperback called Lenore Volume 1, which is separated into 3 books. On July 31st, 2013, Lenore Volume 2, number 8 was released, marking the start of a plotline that continued for 6 issues. So her story is not it doesn't have a plot. I would say it's kind of more random, day to day in the life. You learn a little bit about her, you learn a little bit about the other characters along the way when you watch the webisodes, when you read the stories. But when they released Lenore Volume 2, number 8, it made the start of a plot line that continued more so, I would say, thoroughly. I personally haven't read those, and I don't think I own any of them. I think I own more of the original comics, but it would be interesting to read and, to see how it all plays out. Now, the original plotline is the comic tells of the unlife and adventures of the title character and her similarly odd, if not odder, friends. The story takes place in a small town called Nevermore, which, if you're familiar with The New Wednesday, again, another reference to Edgar Allan Poe, taking its name from The Raven, another one of Poe's poems, and the surrounding wilderness where Lenore's mansion and a nearby graveyard are situated. The primary focus of the graphic novel is dark humor, with many of the stories having twist endings. Common themes are reinvention of children's songs, games, and nursery rhymes to something more macabre and subverting of all sorts of pop culture icons and cultural figures into topics of dark comedy. In one story, for instance, Lenore accidentally kills the Easter Bunny. Lenore's actions often result in death or injury to those around her, and in various forms of chaos. Lenore is a character who is a mystery. She often thinks that she is doing good and occasionally shows good intentions, although in later issues the character has shown a change in personality. When she is asked of what of her dreams are, she replies that it is to rule the world. To further question this, it should also be mentioned that whenever Lenore gets upset or angry, she can become very violent and often takes her anger out on whoever made her angry, even if it's one of her friends. This results in most of her friends, except Mr. Gosh, being very fearful of her. She can also be spiteful. All of this results in Lenore being an enigma due to her at times thinking that she is doing good with a meaning to do good, and at other times wanting to do something more of the lines of doing evil. The comic also features various one-time cited stories. One of these characters includes Samurai Sloth. It is so set and star in his own series. Occasionally guest strips from other series, with Jonah Vasquez being a reoccurring artist. The comic strip Things Involving Me tells about the author's life and experience in exaggerated, semi-autobiographical manner. So that's basically what the comics ensue. Like I said, it's basically like a day-to-day in her life. She is naive, because she is dead. So it's kind of like Frankie from Monster High. Like, she doesn't understand how the world works. And when she gets, told things or shown things, she kind of doesn't grasp the concept and ends up messing things up, And like they said, it often results in death or injury. Her webisode, I think the first one, she sees a little boy playing with one of those squeezy toys, the ones where the eyes and the mouth pops out like the stress balls, and she asks the little boy where he got it from, and he points to the toy store, but the toy store is next to a pet store, and I guess she just did not understand which one he was pointing to, and so she ends up going to the pet store. She asks the cashier where the toys are that the little boys squeeze and do squeezy things with, and this cashier directs her to the hamsters for some reason, because she goes, what are the little toys that little boys play with, and little boys play with them and their toys, something like that. She says something along the lines of that, and so he thinks she means hamsters, and he points her to the hamsters. When she gets there, she starts squeezing them, like the little boy was squeezing that toy, and she ends up killing all of them. And then she ends up going to the guy and saying, oh, they're all broken, and she leaves.
Well, I guess that's a fun one that works. Broken.
So, didn't find one you liked, huh?
They were all broken.
Okay. Well, you have a good day there.
Bye-bye.
Broken. That's Wait a minute. What did she... Oh, sweet Jesus!
I like to fund better toys.
So, yeah, it's kind of silly, messed up, dark humor, something that I enjoy very much, but other people, it depends, it depends on what your taste is. The animated shorts, it was 2 to 4 minutes and produced by Adelaide Productions and Sony Pictures, and was created for Sony's Screen Blast website. Any other website distributing these is doing so without Sony's permission, although Dirge has given permission for people to distribute them as they see fit. All films begin with the line Edgar Allan Poe's Lenore, a dirge for her, the doubtably dead, in that she died so young. Dirge also happens to be a pseudonym surname of Lenore's creator. So that's a pseudonym for the actual guy who made Lenore. Need some water. Sorry. So there's characters which we do have figures of. They kind of just go into each character and the okay, let's see. We'll do the backstory of Lenore. I'll show you guys the figure and then I'll like talk about her backstory at the same time. So this is Lenore. This is one of my Lenore figures. This one's pretty big. This is not the first big figure. I think this is the second one to come out. I'm not sure if it has a date. 2007. So this one came out in 2007. If you notice, she has Ragamuffin, which is one of the characters in her world, and he got eaten by this snake, so now he's stuck in the belly, and that's his front because there's his eye indentions and everything. Super cool. I love this figure so much. It's pretty big, but I think this was the first, like after the comics, this was the first Lenore thing I got. And I think I paid like $40 for her new in box, which I don't think is pretty bad, but she is so cool. I love her. I love how they gave her different shades to her hair. Super cute. Super, super cute. And she's made out of like a hard vinyl. Her head does turn, but that's about it. She has limited mobility. She's just a figure. I also have a small figure of Lenore. Now this one came in like a 3-pack, and I don't know if I have the character 3, because I have 3 of these, but I don't know if I have the characters that came with each other, if that makes sense, because there's 2 different 3-packs. But I got these all separate for like $5 or $6, and I couldn't pass them up. I didn't care that they were like random and new in box. Like, it was Lenore. So here's a dead cat with like a monkey. I don't know if that's a mallet or like a popsicle or something. It is probably a reference to one of the comics. These could be references to the comics or even the show, and I just am failing to remember, because even though I've owned all these comics, watched all these shows, it's been a long time since I've sat down and like read them. So I definitely have to give them a reread. Again, guys, I'm sorry for the fire alarm. Like, I don't know what the hell is wrong with that thing. So let me read you about her so you guys can kind of get a like idea of her character. Lenore is a 10-year-old undead girl who lives in a mansion with other creepy friends. She died of pneumonia at the beginning of the 20th century. Issue number 14 had more of her origin story revealed. Her character has developed from being somewhat malicious in the early comics, hurting people out of spite or revenge, to well-meaning but dim character who kills people by accident, stemming from the fact that Lenore is generally unaware of her surroundings, as well as the fact that she is dead. Lenore says she loves animals, especially cats, but she constantly kills all of her pets. Later, she reverts to her old self and starts hurting those around her with full intentions on what she's doing, as it can be seen in issue number 9 when she insults Ragamuffin and calls him all kinds of names, and in issue number 13 where she declares that her dream is to take over the world. Sometimes she appears to enjoy others' misfortune, since she smiles when she hurts or kills them, and is often depicted as quite violent, especially when she's unhappy about something or when she's angry. Lenore usually does and says things that do not make sense most of the time, resulting in the annoyance of her level-headed companion, Ragamuffin, who considers her a dimwit, calling her special in the head. However, despite all of that, whether she's really dense or acts stupid on purpose just to torment Ragamuffin for fun is unclear, because at all times she is shown to be quite intelligent, such as Volume 2, Issue 2, when she verbously presents Mr. Gosh with various examples of things she loves more than him, which are quite revolting, but quite witty nonetheless. After she is taken by death to the underworld, she escapes from there and returns to the living world with Ragamuffin's help, who unburies her. She has 2 big black wings gained after her return from hell. Apparently, she can let others see her wings only if she desires to. In issue number 9, she tries to tell Ragamuffin that he is her best friend, but as she is interrupted by him when he sprays a substance on her face to kill the worm that eats from her forehead. Lenore gives Ragamuffin a Valentine's Day gift in the bonus comic Volume 2, issue number 2, where he accepts it until he realizes that she has given him a Valentine's Day card that is in fact a nard. In the later issues, it is revealed that Lenore's last name is Lichfast. It is unknown if she had parents or not. Given that she is over a century dead, her birth parents would have also perished. But the way the priest talked to her in Little Ballerina suggests that he may have been a father figure to her. It is also unclear what type of undead she is. She generally appears zombie-like, but she has small pointed canines like a vampire. Given the fact that she gained wings, she may also be likely part demon. In the cartoon, she has a southern accent. So there's your little facts on Lenore and who she is. So she's a 10-year-old little dead girl. We're not sure if she's zombie, vampire, demon. She could be a mix of all of them. And she can be mean. She can be mean and she can be a little naive, but we're not sure if she's doing it on purpose. But nonetheless, we love her. We love her. She's literally so cute. Here's a little one again. So cute. This one has like definitely darker paint job and you can tell it's older. Yeah, 2005. It's only a couple years older, but still very different. Okay, now we can talk about her trusty, dusty sidekick, Ragamuffin. This is the one that is being swallowed in here. This is Ragamuffin. Okay. These are dusty, by the way. Very, very dusty. Super cute, though. I love the little dude on him. So cute. Okay, so Ragamuffin can at first sight look like a rag doll with worms for hair and polyester filling, but he has a very interesting backstory and personality. Ragamuffin was a 400-year-old, as mentioned in issue 13, vampire who fed upon the flesh of the living. One night, he attacked a young woman and ate her, but unfortunately, her sister, who happened to be a powerful witch, witnessed the scene. The witch cursed him and transformed him into a doll. A drop of Lenore's blood eventually returned him to consciousness, but since her blood was mixed with the embalming fluid, the curse was only partially lifted. He will never cease to be a doll. He was briefly reverted into his original body at the end of issue number 11, but returned to his ragdoll form in the last frame of issue number 12. Ragamuffin is unsure of some of Lenore's crazier ideas and is oddly enough the occasional voice of reason in the comic. Still, as shown in the later comics, Ragamuffin is loyal to Lenore, often joining her plans in the Flash animated cartoons. He is often infuriated by her dim-witted behavior, but he goes along with her in the end. In one example in issue number 13, when Lenore says that he is her little kid, or baby as she calls him. And after many protests, he gives up and lets her put a baby bottle in his mouth. In contrast to the brutal savage nature of his original vampire form, he seems quite interested in somewhat more human-like activities as a ragdoll, though he does not want to admit it. He persistently denies it and tries to change the topic when Lenore accuses him of breakdancing in parachute pants in volume number 2, issue 1. Ragamuffin becomes very protective of Lenore in issue number 12 when he is reverted into a vampire. He remains by her side and tries to defend her from the Nazi zombies that ascended from hell. In the same issue, Ragamuffin threatens Mr. Gosh when he disrupts Lenore and makes him eat his own bowels. Also in volume number 2, Volume 2, issue number 1, Ragamuffin brutally murders Mortimer Fledge, who tries to get revenge on Lenore for quite unintentionally ruining his life. Ragamuffin seems worried when Lenore gets sick and takes her to the doctor, and he is really devastated when she dies for the second time in Lenore's Last, Part 2. These actions amplify the fact that he views himself as her parental figure, or at least a guardian. This supposition is validated by Pootie's apple water letter in issue number 13, when he tells Lenore that he cannot leave her with the Puff Puff Midget, who calls himself Ragamuffin. I said midget because they used a word that is not nice about small people. Okay, so midget. Who calls himself Ragamuffin to protect her. In issue number 9, when Lenore falls briefly for Mr. Gosh when his mask is removed and shoves Ragamuffin away, he seems hurt and tells her he has feelings. A new game based on Ragamuffin has been made, in which he plays the role of Lenore's rescuer. However, the game has been pulled from the App Store as it is found to have lots of glitches. That's messed up. So there was a game. In the original animated series, he's voiced by Roman Dirge, the titular author of the comics. Dirge hopes to continue as the voice of Ragamuffin in the Lenore movie. Oh my gosh, if we get a Lenore movie. I think there has been like live action skits or shows or whatever, but so this is Ragamuffin. This is basically like her parental figure, her guide. He is much older than her vampire, and basically he attacked some witch's sister, and she got mad. She saw that, she got pissed off, and she was like, you know what? You're gonna be a doll for the rest of your life. And Lenore eventually found him. She bled on him a little bit, and just like in Tangled, he came back to life. And since she's dead, it didn't like fully work where he could be human again, so now he's just alive as a doll. And there's only one time that he became human again, and eventually went back to being a doll. So yeah, apparently people are mean to him and discriminatory, calling him very vulgar names because he's small. But I think he's cute. I love him. I think he's adorable. He's a sweet little character. Super cute. So that's Ragamuffin. Now, last but not least, we have Mr. Gosh. Okay? Mr. Gosh appears to be a human-sized sock puppet man with buttons as eyes. But he is a dead person with a bag over his head. He is madly and obsessively in love with Lenore. Even after being killed several times by Lenore, he keeps returning from the grave, often saying that he forgives her for killing him, as he supposed she always does try it by accident. He is also unpopular among some Lenore's friends, especially Ragamuffin, who threatens to feed Mr. Gosh to his own bowels if he bothers Lenore again in issue 12. The threat was carried out in the next panel. Lenore's repeated murders of Mr. Gosh include the lawnmower incident, in which she ran him over repeatedly, according to Mr. Gosh himself, 164 times with a lawnmower, after he proposed to her. Some of his other injuries include being poisoned, set on fire, bashed with a shovel, stabbed in the head 6 times, and having his head explode. Yet, he still loves Lenore with all his heart, and Lenore actually falls for him briefly when his hood is removed by Pootie. When Lenore realizes who he is, well, more than his heart is broken. Beneath his hood, his head is rotted, and causes all who look upon him to vomit, except for Lenore. She finds Mr. Gosh more attractive without his hood. This could be his true form, or it could be due to the lawnmower incident. It is revealed in Volume 2, Issue 2, that he inherited a cupcake castle, which he used to live in before he moved to be closer to Lenore. Okay, stalker. In Issue 2, Volume 2, after finally being rejected far enough and realizing how over-compulsive his advances are on Lenore, Mr. Gosh eventually fled to his cupcake castle in hopes of distancing himself from her. Yeah, I mean, she's a minor, and trying to make a new start on his life. Yeah, get some help. But of course, not before letting Lenore in on the word of his inheritance. Once there, Lenore soon followed him while trying to forget she had existed so he could finally live with the peace of mind. He was indirectly forced to take her in a tour of his new home. After being utterly taken by all of the wealth in the suites and the toys, her ex-stalker, there we go, possessed. She weakly attempted to convince him, the very second after they walked into the castle vast hall of toys, that she was in love with him. Okay, Lenore, come on now. And even agreed to marry without a prenup. Why would... No. See, that's... Girl. Although Mr. Gosh could spot on... Even though I'm so baffled by this, I can't even... Although Mr. Gosh could spot on see through her plan, even admitting he did straight to her when she held his hand. His only reaction was to feel incredibly sad, but still acknowledged that she was trying to trick him. So in order to get rid of this feeling once and for all, he took Lenore and Ragamuffin outside along with a good amount of TNT and told her that if she loved him, even if his entire castle blew up, to stay where she was. After he pushed the lever down on the explosives and his inheritance had been completely destroyed, he looked over to see what he thought to be Lenore and had a moment of pure happiness and total excitement, which is actually pretty heartbreaking to read. I mean, not really. He sounds like a deadodile, which is actually pretty heartbreaking to read. When he then discovers moments that there's nothing more than cardboard cut out of her, signaling that she left. Probably before he even destroyed the castle. Gosh's current whereabouts are unknown. I hope so. But due to his presence on the cover of issue 11, volume 2, he may or may not appear once again in the climax of volume 2. Please no. So this guy is a deadodile. If you know what rhymes with deadodile, then you know what he is. He's a creep. He's a stalker. He's a weirdo. Like, she's 10. She's 10 years old. And this guy's like, I love you. Marry me. Marry me. Marry me. He's basically like Panini. Have you guys seen Chowder? He's like Panini, but a grown man coming after a little dead girl. And she just continuously uses him as a human dummy. Well, half human dummy. And because I guess there was a moment where he had all the toys and candy in the world and she was like, well, maybe, I mean, if I could get all this and I could get all this, but no, honey, he's a deadodile. You don't want that. So that's basically a rundown of Lenore and some of its characters. Now there's plenty more characters than just these ones. These are just the figures that I have, and I wanted to give you guys more of like a rundown and a backstory. That way you guys wouldn't be like, who the heck is that? What is that? Now we can kind of just get into the meat of everything else. This is my original lunchbox. I've been embalmed. I love the colors, like the color scheme, the design. It's giving me old school mall goth, Hot Topic, like me. I love it. Now we have Mr. Taxidermy here. He's a neighbor. He's her neighbor. His strange appearance is a medical condition. As his name suggests, his very first appearance in the comics had him looking like a tall, emaciated suit wearing a deer as a head. And he eventually had hooves for hands. He later and currently takes the appearance of a human with a rotting taxidermy deer head. The later design was also adopted for the Flash cartoon. So, there you go. That's Mr. Taxidermy. And then we have the creepy Mr. Gosh. And then we have Ragamuffin, little rat. And then up here we have Lenore. This part is cute. We have her as a bunny. Here's a fairy. Isn't that cute? And then the other side says Lenore. Come experience my dark muffins. Oh, I'm obsessed. And then I still have the original tag on this. $20. And this is why, because the artwork, like, I can't. The artwork. Look at that. I can't take that off. It's too good. And then we have comics here. So this is the first comic to the Lenore series. Issue number 1, 98. This is the 6th printing. So I have the 6th printing, 2002. But still super cool. The artwork is incredible on these guys. Like the artwork. I'm obsessed. So this is issue number 1. I have more. They're not, I don't think they're in, I don't have them in order. This is issue number 4. And I think this is what Mr. Taxidermy looks like without the deer face. There's the back of that one. Isn't that wild? And then in the back you can see like the ads of where they used to sell their t-shirts. I actually have this shirt. If you guys look at one of my videos, I'm wearing this shirt. I have this one. Very expensive. Isn't that cool though? I love looking at that, like old ads and stuff. I also have Lenore car mats, but I don't have them with me right now, obviously. I'll have to show you guys those. I really will. Volume 2, issue 1. So this is one of Volume 2's comics. Like I said, I have a lot. This is number 6 for Volume 1. It's gonna be a long video. Look at that. It's crazy. Like the artwork. Oh my god. Like that's what makes me. This is issue number 3. I have so many. I also have Roman dirges, but I think I might save to show those comics another day. Little guy. So cute. And I keep everything in these sleeves because these are very old and very expensive, especially when you buy the whole collection off, like I did. This is the pattern that is actually on my pillowcase. So this is my pillowcase. I have 2. With this design on it. I hope it doesn't look... No, I think that's just the... That's just my pillow, because my pillow's striped. And the pillowcase itself is like really old, so it is a very like, before people are like, why is it yellow? Why does your pillowcase look yellow? That's literally just the color of it. It's supposed to be like dingy, yellowy. old, guys. Like, I don't know what to tell you. His color scheme is very like yellow, brown, earthy. But yeah, this is the pattern on my pillowcase. The pillowcases are very hard to find. I love this picture. Love it. The pillowcases are very hard to find. I have 2 of them, and I have a blanket right here. I am gonna show you guys. This is another one of the comics. I'm kind of scared to show some of the artwork because some of it can be like a little bit graphic. So like this one, I'm gonna cover this because I don't know what I'm allowed to show. I don't want to get like reprimanded. That's all Lenore. Yeah, that's all the Lenore ones. But yeah, I have quite a few comics, quite a few figures, a lunchbox, some what do you call it? The mats for the car, and then my blanket. This is a hard one to show. I don't know if you guys can see that very well, but my blanket. Fixing my hair, sorry. So yeah, that's my Lenore collection. I'm super happy to share it with you guys. I know that there are some Lenore fans, and I see quite a few of them in the collector community, but I also see a lot of people that don't know Lenore or anything about Lenore, so I figured it would be interesting maybe to show some of my stuff, because I know I have some pretty like unique things. Once I get my car mats, and maybe when I do the Joan and Vasquez video, I'll show off my few other things. But for now, this is my main stuff. So I'm super happy to share it with you guys, and I hope you guys liked it. This shirt is by Toxic Tunes, in case you guys didn't know. I'm not sponsored by him or anything. I'm not sponsored by anybody, but I do love his brand, and I do love his art style, and it's very much reminiscent of like Roman dirge and that old school like goth era, mall goth era. So you guys should follow him on Insta if you like stuff like this. I also have his calendar for this year, so he's a pretty nice dude. But yeah, thank you guys for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you guys learned some more about Lenore. She's pretty much a classic goth icon, especially in the, like I said, the more mall goth era of the late 90s, early 2000s. But nonetheless, I love her. She's one of my favorites. And yeah, I'll catch you guys in the next video. Don't forget to follow me on Insta, hauntedDolly_98. Like, comment, subscribe, do all that jazz, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.